And we're back. Let's carry on with our little talk with the people, because they're probably not going to be here. If some of them are not going to be here tomorrow. Why, Martin, look how it is. Good evening, Andreas. Look who it is. Andreas, you're staying for the festival, I hope? Of course he's staying. Who would miss this, especially after you burly boys built such a beautiful bonfire? A burly boy like me would do anything for you, Dove. Love. Couldn't help myself. Stare at them blankly. Why? Regina, Martin, you're both feeling very festive, I see. The food, the fires, the dancing, it really is a night to enjoy. It's to honor the anniversary of the birth of Blessed John. A vigil for he who prepared the way. Yes, yes. And he'd have liked everyone to have a good mood in their hearts, and good food in their bellies, and a party in their panties. As a hermit who wandered in the desert living off locusts and wild honey, he probably wouldn't agree. I'd like to live off some wild honey myself, if you catch my meaning. I think I need to get the fuck out of here. I wouldn't know, I can't stop thinking about it. Are you going to heed Otto's call and go into the forest? No, I'm not really looking for trouble. There's enough of that going around. Right. I heard you have a tendency to get into trouble with the drinking and brawling. Even though you supported him earlier during the speech, and you, Brigida, not gathering any herbs, my place is by my Martin's side. The word of the abbot is the word of the church. It's improper to go against the word of the church. Only slightly less improper than all the time you spent with Veronica. Oh, Brigitte, I'm sorry. It was a joke. It came out poorly. It's good for the heart to have cherished friends. It's fine. Whatevs. Andreas, I was about to say, the bonfire is enough. We will dance until our legs begin to waver. Right, Morton? Will not miss it for the world. That's delightful. I hope you have a great evening. You as well, Andreas. Until later. So, yeah, we'll see. Thinking the soldiers are in the woods hiding. If I could go find them, that would be good. Hello, Master Mahler. Evening, Till. Enjoying the festival? Very much so. I perhaps feel a tad old for the more active side of the celebrations, but I enjoy the what and sounds, the eights and sounds, the sights and sounds. Jesus. Did you know the word for the summer solstice leads back to the Romans? I thought you didn't read Latin. I've picked up a few words over the years, and I still have the mind to put two and two together. Admirable, I must admit. It's nothing, Master Mahler, mainly proverbs and the occasional word, hence solstitium. Such as it looks at this time of year, the sun rises higher for a long time and then it stays there before falling again. A fitting allegory for the great cosmic arc of mankind, rise and fall. But to make up for that, dancing, leaping, songs, joy, and mirth. People do seem elated, although I don't think the same applies to Abbot Gernot. But can all this really keep away the decline? I think we both know what we're talking about, but I'll just bring in Abbot Gernot to see what he thinks about it. Otto's courting danger, I agree, going against the decrees of the Abbey like so. The festival has always had a rebellious streak of jest and mockery. I don't see it as sacred as some. The church would disagree. We are to honor a major saint. It has to be sacred enough for the church not to condemn it as heretical. And what are we mocking? the fools of the community, most like, the vices folks get up to, especially those more important than us peasants. Overall, I think it brings people together. Wish I could read more about all this. Well, with the Abbey selling books from their library, I hoped I could get some for myself, but it proved to be far too expensive. And I feel like selling books might not be the best way to go, because once you've sold the most important ones, then you'll have a shitty library, basically, of books that nobody wants. And then, what are you going to do afterwards? Klaus and his printings have proven to be of more use and a fair bit cheaper. Have you come across any interesting tales? I'd like to know the 12 articles, actually. I have indeed, Master Mauler. Or I didn't quite understand everything. The text was in Latin. It was by a Roman named Strato, and it was about geography. That's why I noticed it. I don't believe I've had the chance to read anything by him. It was a fairly complicated read, I must admit. The book was about many kinds of barbarians, which also include the Raeti or Raeti tribe I read about years ago. And I think he mentioned it, and I have forgotten to Google it, which means I haven't asked questions as Andreas on my travels. The people who used to live on this very land before the Romans arrived. He called this place Ratium, and described it as a cluster of daub huts, and its people hostile and warlike, only interested in hunting and fighting. And it sounds like German to me. There was something about Manus and his sons, but I couldn't understand a lot of it. In any case, when the Romans came, most of these locals were driven out, but some were captured to work in the fields and the mines. What were they mining? Salt mines, right? So what happened to the locals that were forced out? No idea. I would imagine that after the Romans were driven off, when their empire started falling apart, maybe the barbarians came back. But were they exactly the same people or nomads from elsewhere? I would imagine that the ones who were driven off by the Romans were either killed or then engulfed in other Germanic tribes around in areas where the Romans didn't hold de facto control, and then whoever came back was probably not the same. I guess we may never know. Thank you for the quick history. I'll let you get back to the festivities. Enjoy yourself tonight, Master Mauler. Until later. What? Don't do the fucking backwards man on me, man. There we go. L. Peter is gonna whine about stuff. But at least he's honest. Good evening, Andreas. Nice to see you. Oh shit, he's happy. No, that's Veronica. Fuck. Grandpa, look who it is. Hey. Oh, the artist. You're still around? I don't know why. Yesterday I thought about my grandpa. He always used to say this one word when he couldn't hear. He couldn't hear what was said. He would always say the same word, but the word was split in half, so it was just one syllable that he always said. I don't know why. He just reminded me of. I thought to stay and enjoy the festivities. Oh, you call this a festival? You haven't seen nothing yet. You're not going to tell the story again, are you? You kids need to learn it by heart, else Pershta will run you down. It's about the wild hunt. Yeah, tell me about it. Yes, it draws near. Heed my warning. I guess that's where I got the idea of, well, there was a lot of reasons I got the idea of bloodshed, but I think that might have been the sort of instigator for me being so certain about there being some surprising bloodshed coming. Grandpa, you're getting agitated again. That's not good for your health. Nonsense. I can outlive any bastard out here. So, where was I? I'm guessing you were about to regale me with a tale about the traditions of these mountains, which is the wild hunt. Oh. Can't. Oh, I gotta click that. The word. Yes, did you bring your mask? I didn't realize I was supposed to bring one. The fools I have to suffer. The masks are to protect us as we banish the witches and spirits into Perchta's path. She punishes all humans she finds in the woods on St. John's Eve, since only witches are out in the wilderness. So, let me get this straight. Was I here last time at St. John's Eve as well, but I left before the festivities, and there were people running around in these garments? Because then it might actually not mean that much, because it's just people fucking around. But it was during the murder, so, I don't know. I'm still with the cult idea. Anyone caught will be turned into animals. No one but a priest can then turn you back. Oh no, to be brought low to a mere beastly existence. Isn't that paradise in a sense of non-sentience? I think I can imagine worse. You joke, artist, but you won't be laughing when Perchta finds you. I mean, so long as I'm not like a cockroach or a pig. If you turn me into like a pet, I'll be good. Stay indoors tonight. If you want to come outside, stay within the light of St. John's fire. At least Saint Sasha blesses the herbs in the forest this night. And the women will gather the herbs, regardless of that bastard abbot. It's certainly important to stockpile some for the winter. Thank you for teaching me more about local traditions. And I mean, what she said. Like, if you're gonna ban herbs and stuff, there's no other way than bloodshed out of this, I don't think. Hey, Big Jorg. Yes? You grab some of those ashes with you after the bonfire has died down. Fine. What are the ashes for? It's to spread across the garden. Ensures a good harvest. Figures you city folk don't know shit. From piss. Don't be like that, Grandpa. Now that story time's over. How are you enjoying the evening so far, Andreas? I've spoken to a few other people here, very enlightening. It's the best time to spend time with your friends. Have you heard anything interesting? Gossip. The two are like that burner in the fort, Smokey. You go and visit Smokey, Peter? I'm always nosy about other people. I've also been invited to have dinner with the abbot. I guess the talking never stops. Yes, it has been fun to hear what people think about. I'll say I've been invited to dinner because I want to let them know that I was there. Maybe give them a hint of how fucking stupid he is. It'll be an interesting discussion, I'm sure. Oh, I already went there. Maybe you can talk some sense into Father Gurnall. He's not making it easy for us, any of us. It's not like we're asking for much. Yeah, I've already done it, so this is sort of reversed, but I'll do what I can. All we can ask. I guess I shouldn't keep you then. You'll have an important meeting to attend. You're right. I can't keep the abbot waiting too long. Until later. Oh, we've taken a lot of your time, haven't we? Don't forget to enjoy the night celebrations. So yeah, I guess I could have talked to these people before I went to dinner with the abbot, but I didn't want to keep the abbot waiting. Werner, Miller, Andreas. Salutations, you must be that illustrious artist. Balthazar, what a name. Balthazar Eisenkopf, pleasure to meet you, but call me Balthas, please, it's much more familiar. Master Andreas Mahler, pleased to meet you. Yes, yes, you're Mahler, we all know. Let's cut the long-winded pleasantries. Could you behave yourself for one conversation? I'll just ignore him. What brings you to Tassing, Balthas? Balthazar here decided to stay in this godforsaken town for whatever unfathomable reason after his cart broke. It is not unfathomable. I enjoy the calming vistas, the peace and quiet, and having strangers around right now might not be, or is highly suspicious. It has been neither lately. You mean what Otto and the peasants have been saying? And what is it that you do, Balthas? He's an inventor of sorts. What? Can you let him fucking talk? I make all manner of mechanical contraptions. For all use it is. Werner is not a wise man. I can't say for his intelligence, but the mind of the inventor exists to create, to build, to go one step further toward the garbage heap. It makes sense you'd also be rude to your friends, Werner. A very inspiring thought, Balthas. Well, thank you, Master Artist. Speaking of, have you had the chance to look around town tonight? I imagine the sights could also be inspiring to your artistic mind. Tassing certainly looks cheerful with all the decorations and bonfire. I'll ask him what it means, because I want to know what he's doing. Well, look at the peasant ingenuity on display. The bonfire itself, for example. It is built to allow the air and the heat to flow through it at great speed. And how it roars. It is an evolved design, though. It's a clever piece of construction, but Otto is a clever man. It is a feat almost worthy of an university. I'll just block the N there. It's a feat almost worthy of a university degree. These people have natural traditions. They've managed to figure out many clever things without even the most cursory education. It is called trial and error and intuition and experience, I would imagine. It is knowledge that hails from preceding generations, lived experience passed along the chain of time. That's what I said, but in a worse way. Not quite the knowledge of a rigorously educated mind, perhaps, but nonetheless useful. You don't need a university education to be smart. I just don't see the use for any of it. So you don't need a university education to be smart. Of course you would say that. Neither of you know these people like I do. God has assigned them their place in the order of the world for good reason. There is some merit in learning from the peasants. Even you, Werner, given their understanding of herbal remedies. Their traditions are profane. Consider the Eve of St. John, tainted by their pagan rituals. It's an affront to Christ. I think the point of, rituals like this, like the old guy said, that you sort of combine them, and then the old traditions exist outside of the light of this bonfire, in a sense, where they have to exist because there's a point to them all, in a sense. So, yeah. But he's not that clever. Saint Eligius warned against precisely this a thousand years ago. Patron saint of goldsmiths, Bishop of Noyon-Tournai, worked tirelessly to convert the pagans of Flanders to Christianity. I wonder what happened to him. And nothing has come of these pagan festivals in all that time. Where'd this newfound piety come from? You're only one up about this, aren't you? Nothing has come of these pagan festivals in all that time. It's like they exist and people have fun for a day and go crazy a little bit and then go back to normal. I think that's like probably the longest tradition in human history, is to be serious and then fuck around every now and then. The harm infects a man's eternal soul. You might not see it, but God can. And I really hope that he's not going to be a part of the military, possible military intervention here, because he remembers that. I just wanted to piss him off, but I might have stepped on my own shoe there. Where'd this newfound piety come from? I really wound up. Use that mind the Lord gave you and think, Mahler. Do you think the church will suffer a revived paganism while Luther's acolytes tear down its walls? Is this revived, or is it just it's what they do? We live in dangerous times. If you can't see that, you're more of an imbecile than I thought. Oh, we have gotten too serious, my friends. Far too grim. We're here to celebrate. I'll let you continue with your evening, then. Good night. A very good night to you, and a Merry Christmas and whatever. Oh, and do come by my workshop, Mr. Mahler. Master Mahler. I would love to exchange ideas. Definitely a fucking smart person in this town. It will be my pleasure. Splendid. Until then. Mahler. And now Casper. Master Andreas, look at how big the bonfire is. The decorations are so fancy. I really dislike people like this. It's more than one-upping someone. It's like, I'm sure there's a word for it that I don't know. The St. John's Eve Festival is a big event for Tassing. I missed it last time I was here. Haven't you ever been to a festival like this, Casper? No, I've never seen anything like this. Can I stay at the bonfire and see the costumes and watch them collect herbs, Master Mahler, please? So yeah, now I get the chance. Alright, but follow along and don't get in their way. I'm too tired for the festival. I think I'll just turn in for the night. So no, Casper, it's late and I don't want to risk the abbot's anger. Let's just head back and go to sleep. So I'd want him to go to bed, but then I want to definitely just have an eye out and just walk around a little bit, because I can. In real life, I would probably go to the guest house, lock the door, and wait for this to blow over. And I doubt, well, if they're only mercenaries, they're not going to care about what I have to say. So, and I don't think I have any. Nothing is defending me in this town. The abbot hates me. I hate him. The townsfolk have no power. So I'd probably, actually, maybe, possibly even leave town right now. I mean, I think that's what I would do. And I probably should have planned for that before. But since we're not allowed and able to do that, we're going to so yeah, it's leaving Casper around here alone at night, or then because if Andreas is going to go to bed anyway, the risk is too great. It would be amazing for him to stay here and draw in his journal and learn all kinds of things, but I think we can do that, in 5 years and come back when things are cooled down. Alright, fine. Go to bed. I don't want to go to bed just yet. I want to go to... I always forget if I can get to the forest from here. I think I cannot. But I want to go watch the girls swimming. No, I want to go and talk to them and see what's going on in the woods. Because there's a chance that something is going to happen. Because this is where they're going to be coming, and Smokey, unfortunately, is going to probably be caught in the crossfire. I'll go see the shrine if somebody's here, but I think it's safe to say that shit is going down. I think this is where they were supposed to be swimming. And they're already gathering herbs. Andreas Mahler, I never thought I'd see you back here again. I came back to pay my respects to Brother Piero. I'm sorry, I didn't know the man, but I heard others speak well of him. How have you been, Elena? Well, old Martha managed to survive since your last visit, thank God. But lately, not so well. You must know about the taxes we have to deal with. Otto is trying to make the abbot see some sense, but I'm worried he's playing with fire. Carl and Peter and the other farmers support him, but it's dangerous to provoke the Duke. So yeah, I think I've said this many times before, but again, if you don't allow peaceful negotiations, then you're going to have violence. There's no other option. So I'm sure somebody's tried to talk sense into the abbot, but he's not listening. Anton's still too young to get mixed up in all this, and we have Martha to look after too. It sounds like the peasants can't really survive with the way things are. Maybe the townsfolk can talk them down. Things already feel like they're getting out of hand, sure. But yeah, the peasants can't really survive because, like someone said, it's going to be winter time and people are going to start dropping like flies, basically. It's going to be a hard winter for certain. But I'd take a skinny husband over a dead one. I pray nothing happens to him. Yeah, well, it's like, right now they're not that skinny yet, so they still have fight left in them. After winter, if they're not going to be able to do much, and the abbot doesn't give a fuck, so then they'll be less likely to be able to fight at least. But personally, I don't think fighting is the answer over here because, well, they don't know it, but I would imagine there is some sort of military presence around. So, just, you know, peaceful protest around the abbey would start pulling on the heartstrings, not of the abbot, but of the people in the abbey, and I'm pretty sure they would start helping people who protest peacefully who are starving. Now then, I'd best get back to my work. Until later, Andreas. Until then. Martha? Hi. You must be Martha. Who told you? Your mom? Saint Sasha. Oh shit, how can I actually answer that? Maybe I can click here. I'll actually do a test. Yeah, that works. Really? No, I was just telling a joke. Oh. Alright, I'm going to go. Okay, that was, interesting. Nothing special going around here. Might as well have a little look while we're around. So, predictions. Shit's gonna go down. I am going to have to face the ire of the abbot, I would think, because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, because I spoke against him, sort of, told him what I think, which is never good when you're talking with an idiot. And there will be a wild hunt tonight as we rest. But at least he's around here, although I have a feeling that once I fall asleep, he's gonna sneak out. So if I was Andreas here, I would reiterate that do not go outside no matter what. If you want to see shit, look out the window. And I would, yeah, I don't know, I would stay awake for a couple of hours, make sure that he's actually asleep, or that he would have to wait for, you know, if he tries to sneak out in the next couple of hours, then I'd catch him. It's getting late, I should get some rest. Sleepy time it is. And he looks tired, so maybe he's not going anywhere. Oh, we're going to Imagine Land. So this is the maze that we saw. And is this the same maze that we saw before as well? Because no, it was just a city. But I didn't really need to remember the maze, but just needed to remember that there was one, and it was in the hand of Mary Sabine. What is it? I'll just wait. I don't know, it's a stereotypical, like a woman thing that they have a face that if you write it down, it's this. Not everybody does it, but some women do. Come home. Stop bothering me, fucking... I know. You know what? You want me home, you've been asked... Oh, fuck, I didn't mean it that way. I was like, I know you want me home in a good way. I didn't want to be a fucking mean douchebag about it. And for months you haven't answered. Oh, what am I to you now? Shit, he hasn't even written her back. Andreas is confused. An annoyance, a bother, a nuisance to be ignored while you lead another life in London. Was there ever an ounce of love in your heart for me? Man, I didn't... of course there was. I didn't mean to... Fuck, I really wish I could restart, because that's not what I intended to say at all. But no longer. I hate talking to you when you're like this. Say nothing. Fine. Go back to your whores, the women who make you happy. This house is so lonely without him. Stop. Your presence would only amplify the grief. Of what? Leave me alone. Leave me alone with the memory of him. I guess maybe they tried to have a baby, but they could not, or something happened. Man, that did not go as I planned, but it's a dream, so you don't always know what you're doing there. Just leave me alone just for the night. One night where I don't have to dream about him. Please. Thank you. So that's why he's so sad and upset. Makes sense. Andreas has his life as well. He's always sort of, always involved in everyone else's life, but no one ever asks how is Andreas. Who is Andreas? Hello, August. What am I supposed to do? Just wait here with you? I know you aren't going to say anything. You never say anything. Yeah, nothing to say, really. I'm tired. You get tired where you are? Last time I saw you, I said goodnight to you. I couldn't come to the bed, so I stood in the doorway. I just stood in the dark. You didn't say anything back, so I said it again. I don't know how long I stood there, just waiting for you to say goodnight. Yeah. You still look the same age to me. I wonder if I'll ever forget your face. Do I remember your mother as she is? Or am I just thinking of some perversion of Daniel's portrait? I remember loving her. Can you ever picture someone clearly if you love them? Can you ever picture someone clearly if you hate them? I loved you, little boy. So much. Sometimes I wish I could die so I wouldn't feel it anymore. Man, Andreas is getting deeply depressed, but I can't. So I retrace my steps every night, and I find my way back to her. Back to you. Love you, August. Good night. Almost there. So he was probably a few years old at least. Holy shit, what happened to this place? Who's Prester John? She is the, man, her name is weird. I can't remember it. Where's Socrates and St. Grobian? Grobian wasn't on the ship of fools. Oh, Melancholia. Not who I expected. Will you answer me? No thoughts for Beatrice? You are Beatrice, aren't you? Once. I was a voice of caution, of prudence. And now? More and less than caution. The ache of doubt that stiffens the paralysis. Paralysis that breeds despair. Melancholia. What happened to the others? What happens to you happens to us. The foundations of the city are still moored within the ocean of your mind. This court does not rule your mind. Your mind rules the court. I guess it's teamwork, at least in my mind. One reason, curiosity and the foolishness of youth dwelt under the aegis of your intellect. Once reason, curiosity, and the foolishness of youth dwelt under the aegis of your intellect. All that remains, the melancholy of life's autumn. Well, everything comes to an end. How did it come to... Is that it then? No, not at all. You at least have doubt. It could be worse. Despite the sad state of this city, it could always be worse. Definitely. But at some point, worse sort of loses its meaning. When things are really bad, when things get worse, it makes no difference anymore. What's worse than doubt and despair? Hopelessness, madness. True. You're not there yet, but the road is not long. What am I supposed to do about it now? Change your life. Huh. Wait, I shouldn't be here. I needed to help someone. Is Casper still asleep? Ah, so your thoughts aren't entirely turned inward. There's still something in you that cares for others in spite of your melancholy. Perhaps there's still hope for us. Wake up, Andreas. Oh shit, here we go. Fuck. St. John's Eve. Called it. Alright, time to end the episode here. That was very heartbreaking. And very eye-opening as well at the same time. It cast light into the shadows of what has been going on beneath the surface. I will see you in the next episode, where we are, well, don't want to use adjectives here, because I don't know what's going to happen. And always the optimist, although realism trumps optimism. Optimism rooted in reality. There we go. I'll see you in the next one.